Well, hello there.
Hello.
And welcome, friends. I'm starting a series. I'm sure everybody's super excited about it. Some more than others. It's going to be called the RECCE Reality Check. I do have to preface this by saying I'm not qualified to talk about this shit at all. But let's be honest, qualifications never stopped any of these gun tubers with zero experience from talking about it. So why not me?
Holy shit, you fucking killed her, dude!
Now, the position I'm going to take, however, is go find qualified sources to tell you how to do these things, and the information exists out there for you to learn it, so go seek it out. I'm not going to tell you how to do anything, but we are going to take a deep dive into the reality checks of doing these things. Let's get started.
You're not my supervisor!
Oh, so you're going on a RECCE mission, huh? You want to build your entire persona around the world of RECCE? You're always annoying your friends with what you have, what you're gonna buy, and what you're going to do should the collapse happen, and how you're gonna survive over everyone else. It's kind of like when, remember Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, you know, the good Battlefield games? You remember when you played objective-based games and people would just sit in the back and snipe? That's this mentality. Except reconnaissance is not just sitting in the back and sniping, turns out. And let's see how realistic that is. First off, there's lots of cute opinions on the internet on what is or isn't. And to be honest, most of those dudes don't know that RECCE means recon, which means reconnaissance.
Oh.
Reconnaissance as defined by the Oxford Dictionary via a Google search is military observation of a region to locate an enemy or ascertain strategic features. Seems pretty basic, right? Of course. While anyone can observe something and report it back, there are dedicated special operations units who perform these type of missions. For instance, Marine Force Recon, Navy SEALs, the Forward Observers and the Army Rangers, Army Special Operations, and Air Force TAC-P, to name a few. Because like it or not, it requires years of special training, physical fitness, mindset, and an understanding of how to operate deep and unfriendly territory in a non-permissive environment. Some of you might say, but, what about all the things I was told on the internet? That's a great question. Or, where are my pop culture examples of where to do this so I can watch a movie and figure out how to do it from there? I'm not gonna lie, Gray Man with Chris Pine did a decent job of showing what it would be like staking out a target and gathering intelligence. You know, where he was sitting outside that dude's house for days on end. In the rain, elements and all that stuff, no bathroom breaks, no comfort items, and boring as shit. And because of all the other requirements, like physical fitness, high degrees of restraint and discipline, and certainly we can't ignore the years of training required through multiple classroom and practical field application environments, which means you can't be a window-licking fucking idiot or a dumb asshole, so clearly I'm out.
Why are you the way that you are? Honestly, every time I try to do something fun or exciting, you make it not that way.
And a lot of guys think that reconnaissance is kicking doors and doing all sorts of high-speed stuff, not sneaking around and doing all these other things that it actually is. And I don't really expect people to have a realistic understanding of things that they've never experienced or never seen firsthand, because most of it's protected information, and you don't understand what you don't do firsthand. It's just the way it is. A lot of people memorize terms and think that all this stuff is cool. And there's a lot of dudes out there that, for lack of knowledge, will go to influencers or discussion forums or even discords and try to learn this information from people they have no idea who they are, instead of actually taking the steps necessary to do these things. So I know the guys punching the air right now, because they don't qualify for any of the aforementioned jobs in the military, are going to come back and say, hey,
Fuck you.
I can do whatever I want. Sure you can. Just like you can quit eating fast food every day and go to the gym. But that takes effort and dedication, doesn't it? Just as an example, how's your hiking, by the way? Can you hike 5 miles in 20 pounds of gear? Great, because it's actually going to be 15 to 20 miles in about 80 pounds of gear.
Fuck.
In fact, I have some more questions for you. Some of you are going to say,
Stop gatekeeping. I can do what I want.
sure. But let's see if you can answer these questions positively, not negatively. And then you won't have to worry about what I'm saying. You'll be able to go do these things anyway, despite my criticism, right? How are you at teamwork? Can you shoot, move, and communicate? And by that I mean actually do it, not fail miserably at it. Do you know how to patrol? Do you know how to land nav? Can you land nav from point A to point B without being detected? Do you have situational awareness? Do you know how to observe and report, both without getting detected and with the qualifying information that other people would need? And on top of that, who are you reporting it to?
Ma, the meatloaf! Fuck!
Do you know the what and why behind what you're doing? Do you meet mission criteria? And, I said it earlier a little bit, but can you hike 5 miles in full kit? This is one of those games where if you want to be successful and win, you have to address those items first. Unless you just want to die early and be a loot drop for someone who did.
Holy shit, you fucking killed her, dude!
There's an Instagram channel that I watch, even though sometimes it gets too metal for me, but it's called Nature is Metal. And the reason I bring that up is, as prepared as I think I am, there's a young stud who's 10 years younger than me that's dedicated his life to this. There are MMA fighters that sleep in the gym and don't allow themselves any indulgences. All they do is work out, train, eat, sleep, repeat. So as well prepared and trained as I am, there's a guy that did plenty of combat in other places that's just like where I live. And if I think I can go up against him and succeed, a lot of people get upset about criteria or reasons that they should be able to do advanced things, but they haven't done any of the initial steps. Once you clear that initial hurdle, you'll then be able to start focusing on the more advanced stuff. And hopefully, once you've acquired that information from a legitimate source, not an expert in their own mind, you'll be able to hopefully show others what you've learned and develop a strong team. And the good news is there are plenty of training opportunities, cheap gym memberships, and decades worth of stories and firsthand accounts to reference, both in books from the people who were there, other media resources where you can hear firsthand accounts of the people that did the job, or you can indulge yourself in people that haven't done it before. I'm not sure if you want me teaching you how to take down a diesel engine, because I've never fucking done it, right? Same thing with RECCE. You really don't want me teaching you because there's way more qualified sources out there. So in short, and this is just a brief intro video, I have so many more planned and they're gonna be hilarious, but everyone's talking like we're gonna be at war tomorrow, but no one is training like it. People like to sit back and talk like a bunch of old fuds at some restaurant, talking about World War II or Vietnam or the Civil War or some conflict where they just get to talk about the gear and weapons and all that stuff and postulate what could have happened and, oh, if they had just done this, or talking about experiences they didn't have. And the guys that have had those experiences don't really talk about it. Just saying, if these things really concern you, maybe it's time to get in the gym. It's never too late to start and better yourself. And lots of dudes are more than content on taking 6-7 hours out of their day, staying at home, listening to YouTube channels, but they won't step outside. This is gonna be a fun series. I'm excited. Are you excited? I'm excited. And I know some of you are gonna say, wow, what a smug asshole. And maybe. The one thing you wanna remind yourself is there's nothing more valuable than firsthand experience. And anyone can get behind a camera and, well, not anyone. Most people can get behind a camera and talk to people. But not everybody can go out and do stuff, which is what's important. So I think it's very important to take a step back, do a reality check, self-assessment, and a few other things. So as we go through this series, we're gonna hit rifles, gear, actually going out on a recce mission, and a few other things. It's gonna be a critical reflection period for a lot of people that do wanna hear me talk about it, and hopefully take it on board. And it's also going to be a source of anger and frustration for a lot of people out there that don't think that they need to do this stuff. That they can just video game it, you know, that hero syndrome. So we'll be taking a deep dive throughout the course of these next few months, and hopefully we can hit some good points. And maybe I can make you laugh a few times along the way.
Why are you gay?
But as always, thanks for watching. Take care out there.
It's going to be a bumpy ride.